if you're living in Des Plaines or you plan on living in Des Plaines, there's one thing that you'll never get rid of: O'Hare Airport.
Yeah, if you're in Des Plaines and some of the surrounding communities, you're right up against O'Hare Airport.
There you go.
And that means plane noises as well as pros and cons. And that's what we're going to go over today, the pros and cons of living near the airport.
Okay, I can take the pros.
Sure.
You take the cons.
Oh, sure.
One of our personal favorite pros about living next to O'Hare Airport is it takes us such a short distance to get to the airport. Our drive is phenomenally short, maybe 5 or 10 minutes to get to the airport from our house, which means that if we leave our house, drive to O'Hare, drop off, and go through TSA, especially if you have TSA pre-check, we can be at our gate in less than 30 minutes.
Yep. It's happened many, many times.
Many times, and we are spoiled, and we are not sad about that.
No, we're proud of that.
Yes.
The cons to that are that you could have a lot of family and friends say, hey, can you drop me off at the airport? Can I use your house for parking? Or can I park my car at your house and you drive me to the airport?
Yes.
But because it's so close, it's not that big of a con. But that is part of it. And we've actually offered that to people, say, next time you can park by us.
And how many times have we mentioned to family or friends, hey, if you get stuck at the airport, give us a call. We'd be happy to come pick you up so that you don't have to sleep at the airport.
There you go.
The next pro that we have is some of the properties in Des Plaines that are on the south end, the single family homes, they have been part of what has been called a noise abatement program, meaning that if you live in Des Plaines and you live by the airport, there's going to be noise, and some of it's going to be more intense than others. So O'Hare Airport has put together a program that would replace windows and doors to help keep those properties that are on the south end of Des Plaines quieter because of the airport noise.
Insulation in the attic and the walls, and there are other things that they did to abate the noise for those people who were there.
Exactly.
So I guess the con of that is that there is noise.
Yeah.
Now, depending on the flight pattern, depends on how much noise you get, and that was part of the abatement program. But you need to know, if you live near an airport, there's going to be plane noise if you're sitting outside especially, and at different times. But take a look at the runways and the flight patterns. You can go online and get that information, but just know that there is plane noise if you're living near an airport.
And it is freaky if the planes stop, for some reason. You kind of just get used to it. We've been here for over 30 years, close to 35 years now that we've been in Des Plaines. Do we hear it? Sure. Does it interrupt with any of our outdoor activities? No, it doesn't. So you just might want to be aware, like Joe said, of what type of planes might be going over and what time of day. And where we live, most of the flight patterns that we get are European. They'll come in at like 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. There are those overnight flights that will come over our house. But if our doors and windows are open during the summer, it's rare that we have to pause the TV because we can't hear.
But it's just know that you live near an airport, guess what? There's going to be plane noise.
Absolutely. And of course, the obvious in some ways is O'Hare Airport is a huge job opportunity. If you're either looking for a job or you're transferring to O'Hare because of a job, you're a pilot, you're a flight attendant, you're a mechanic, you're an engineer, there are so many jobs at O'Hare.
Dozens of restaurants. There's also engineering.
Yes.
There's the heating and the air conditioning, everything else that goes on at O'Hare. They hire electricians and mechanics and carpenters. And so
some of our friends' children have been porters that they will, be the ones waiting for someone who might be disabled, wheelchair attendants, so many layers of people that might be able to be employed by the airport, which is actually in the city of Chicago.
And an airport is an economic hub, and then plus all the businesses that surround the airport as well,
Absolutely.
Which support the people that live there and the other jobs, even like the food that goes on the airplanes. There's warehouses and manufacturing and everything else. So major economic hub is O'Hare Airport especially.
Right. So what could be the con of that? The airport is running 24 hours a day.
Sure. So if you get a job at the airport, you might have to work that overnight shift or
Yeah.
what have you. That's all part of it as well.
Absolutely. Now, another one of our favorite pros about living close to the airport, and I feel like we are spoiled, and again, we're not sad about it, is most of the flights that we take from O'Hare are nonstop, no connections. We talk to a lot of people when we travel, and we hear about their journey through one or two airports, trying to make their connecting flights. Sometimes they'll miss a flight because something is delayed. We just don't normally have that problem.
Yeah. And well, I guess to add on to that, true, lots of nonstop opportunities out of O'Hare International Airport. But also, you can get just about anywhere with only one stop. So even if you can't fly nonstop, you can get almost anywhere out of O'Hare relatively quickly.
Yes. And again, we're not sad about it.
No.
So it's a nice payoff for a little bit of that O'Hare airport noise. But as examples, we have flown from O'Hare to Honolulu. It's 9.5 hours, but we didn't stop on the West Coast. We have flown from O'Hare to Anchorage, and we didn't stop. We have flown from O'Hare to Rome. We didn't stop.
Yeah, so lots of opportunities.
All of it. Now,
nonstop.
Of course, if you have a major airport, and O'Hare used to be the largest, busiest airport in the world, it continues to battle that every now and then, but with a large airport comes major highways and a lot of transportation options. So there are a lot of expressways that feed right in and around O'Hare, so that when you arrive, you can either get to Chicago, the southern suburbs, even up into Wisconsin inside of an hour, or the western suburbs. There are a lot of expressways.
And they're adding more. So that means you can get anywhere, north, south, east, or west, relatively quickly. And they want to keep them clean because we do have snow in the Des Plaines, Chicagoland area every so often. They keep them clean, they keep them moving, and they try to keep them in great shape as they can. So the major highways get you almost anywhere. So that's an advantage of living near O'Hare Airport.
Yeah.
And the downside to that, well, there can be congestion sometimes in and around the airport. Going in and out, if it's a busy day, you're going to have some lines maybe. We know the back routes in, so it makes it easier. We can let you know about that if you want to. But you can expect congestion sometimes.
Yes. And as with any airport, if there are public officials, especially those that might be living in the White House, if they are flying in, obviously some of our major thoroughfares are going to be closed because they do take that over completely, so that there is no competition on those roads if the president or any of those that are involved with the White House are coming into town.
Well, we especially knew when President Obama was coming into town, because the helicopters used to hover over the house quite often.
Yes.
So we're like, oh, he's back in town again.
Yes.
So you get to have some excitement as far as that as well.
Yes, and there have been some times when a president was in town when the helicopters were not flying and they wanted to get downtown, and so did we, and we had to take different roads because they had taken the entire expressway.
There you go.
So, trivia question to end all of this.
What is the symbol? We've been asked this a lot. When you see it on your luggage, what is the symbol for O'Hare Airport? Is ORD.
Yep.
What does that stand for?
Well, it stands for orchard. So O'Hare Airport is built on land that was filled with orchards. So therefore, it has nothing to do with OHARE. ORD is the secret.
Yes, Orchard Place
is an orchard. Yep, Orchard Place.
That's what it stood for.
So there you go. If you are considering a move to the Chicago area or Des Plaines specifically, or want to talk about other communities surrounding O'Hare Airport, we are Joe and Jean Marella with the Spouses Selling Houses team at Keller Williams. We have lived in Des Plaines and called Des Plaines home for 35 years now, and we'd be happy to chat with you about how we might be able to help you make Des Plaines your home too.
Thanks.